Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, September 23rd. We're hoping it doesn't turn into that throat punch Thursday that we often refer to. FOMC out of the way, and as we talked about yesterday, oftentimes after FOMC, because the news is out, we know what's expected. Looks like most of that was baked in. What was said was baked in. So here we are, moving on up in the markets. You can see here we're off the highs, but we're working our way back up. We came close to that 50. That 50 is now the new resistance ahead. So as we move closer to it here today, it's sitting at on the SPY, that'll be about 443, just above 443 here. So we'll keep an eye on that as we move in through the day. But let's take a look at a few charts. Many of these are ones that we watched yesterday. I didn't do anything other than a day trade yesterday just because of FOMC, and then he took too long to talk, and of course my charts are freezing up because, well, I'm trying to, let's move this one over. Charts are freezing up because I actually need them. That's just the way it works sometimes. All right, let's take a look here. Well, since we're here, we can go ahead and take a look at Apple. I wasn't going to talk about this, but since it's on the chart, or because it is on here, I will take a look. Well, I'd like to take a look. None of my charts are moving. Huh. Awesome. This is, okay, well, I guess I'm back to Throat Punch Thursday because nothing is moving. Huh. I know. This is just the way it goes sometimes. There we go. Okay. I think this will work now. Okay, so let's take a look here. Apple, right, made a really nice move yesterday, filled the gap, looked for a move above the 8 this morning. It's trading at 147, so 150 is really that next big hurdle, getting through the 8, and then, of course, we have the 50 up there, so keep an eye on Apple to get through and then hold that 50 today. Not the one I was going to start out with. Let's start with PLTR, Palantir. Wow, beautiful day yesterday. Really good. We had a lot of charts that came roaring back yesterday and over the last 2 days, really. But yesterday turned into a really pretty day on the SPY as we watched. I'm going to throw this on the 5 minutes so that you can see this. We really just continued to climb, and then we stayed out of that range. Here's FOMC. We're kind of wishy-washy on it. And then coming right back in today with a good, with the futures looking pretty darn good here. So again, after FOMC, that's not so uncommon simply because all the news is out. We know what to expect. PLTR, big bullish candle. Wick, we have a little bit of a wick because as with several at the end of the day there, they kind of sold off just a little bit, but holding strong. I like this for the move through the 28. I'm watching, everything I'm watching now is in November. So the 28 strike in November for PLTR. Another one we were watching yesterday is Crowd. Look at this. Came right up through the point of control, right up above the 50. There is the 20 up ahead, but nice room there. And if we can continue on through that 20, that will be the nearest resistance. But Crowd, this area, this particular sector has been doing pretty darn well. It has a lot coming up in it, and Crowd now kind of catching up. So keep an eye on Crowd here. I like this at the 270. And Net, similar space. This is one that has just continued to creep up. Big bullish candle. I would look for a move to continue breaking those all-time highs there in Net, and I would look at the 140s there in Net. AFRM is another one we watched yesterday. Drew these fib lines on, and my goodness, look at that. So there's a reason that so many people use fib lines. They tell you some great areas of support and resistance. Now here's the thing with as with anything, it can follow them, but it doesn't mean that is where you don't buy in anticipation of the move or like a bounce or a move through a fib line. You participate in that move, so wait for it to bounce or push through. And you can see here yesterday we obeyed these two fib lines very, very well. Even though we whipped through them, our price action began and ended at some fib lines here. So we're looking for a continuation. Overall, just love this look, right? So we had a gap up, pulled back in, earnings, gap up, and making a very nice little wedge here. So keep an eye on AFRM, and I would watch the 120s on that. One that has been in our watch list, just perpetual watch list, right? mRNA still super strong here. I like this upper trend line. We have just been squeezing here. Definitely a bit of a wedge here, looking for the move through yesterday's close and then to touch this trend line here in mRNA. I would watch the 450s. Now we have a lot of stocks popping in the travel sector, whether it's airlines, cruise lines, resorts, anything that has to do with travel, with the restrictions being relaxed for visitors into the U.S. EXPE, a beneficiary of this, and I like this because it moved up above the 200-day moving average. And you can see here we came again right up to a fib line, but we've cleared all of the major moving averages. Lots of room to run, really right up to about that 170 mark. So I'm watching EXPE for the 165s. But remember, look at all of the different travel stocks and see which ones are benefiting. We saw a lot of call activity come through in Snap, and it just went on. I didn't see any specific news for it, but look at this. We watched, this was on yesterday's watch list because it broke that trend line, and look at that. It came right back in, pushed on up, and now looking at all-time highs, looking for all-time highs again, going through the 80-85 mark. I would keep an eye on Snap, and I would watch the 80s. And one that I tend to always miss, Trade Desk. Love this. We've had the 3-8 cross. We came above the 200. We broke the 20 here, looking at the 50. Keep an eye on Trade Desk for a move up to that 50 to test it and move on. Looking at the TTD, the 80 strike there. There's a couple others that we watched yesterday. I didn't find any options I really like on it, but Hood made a big old move. We had the 3-8-20 cross, used that 20, jumped up, ran right into some resistance so we're looking for a continuation on that. Skills caught a little bit of action, and it had a lot of call activity and some block trades in there. So keep an eye on Skills for a move from a move past the 20. That's about where we stopped here today. So we want to watch and see that continue on. And apps made it through the 200 pretty nicely here. Stopped right about this fib line, but lots of room, not a lot of resistance here as we head up toward that next fib line, which will also come right in at the resistance. You can see here that we have these candles, a little bit of price resistance coming up at that 76.23 area. All right, that is it for me today. I hope you have an awesome day today. Be sure, as we are looking to open green, make your trade plan and plan if something is moving up. It's past where maybe you were like, this is the entry I was looking for. We're past that. Use an ORB. Watch for the continuation and the follow through today. If we start to fail, open green and then start to go red, we don't want that. So make sure to honor those stops that you put in place. All right, I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon.